Hey, it's Zoe Hoffman from Zoe Hoffman Tutoring, and today I'm going to give you a sneak peek into what doing online tutoring looks like for my students, which is really cool. I love online tutoring. It allows my students to stay in the comfort of their own home and for mom and dad to do less driving, and it allows us to use as much or more materials that we would in person. So I'm excited to show you. If you are thinking about doing online tutoring, I encourage you to watch this video and see what it's like. And then if you like what you see, I want to encourage you to schedule an online trial session with me. It's 30 minutes and it's completely free so that you can see what it's like to work with me and you can decide whether online tutoring is right for you. If you are on my website right now, directly below this video is where you will go to schedule that meeting. And then you should be able to pick a time and day that works perfectly for you. So don't forget to do that after this video if you like what you see. All right, so online tutoring is my favorite, and I'm going to show you a few of the things that we get to do during online tutoring. And what you're seeing on your screen is exactly like what my students see when they're working with me. We use a program called Zoom, which is what I'm using right now to record this. And it's kind of like Skype, but with a bunch of added features so that we can do things together, not just video chat. And I like it because then you don't have to log into multiple different systems to make it work. You're just logging into Zoom and we go from there. So I'm going to show you all of the fun things we get to do. The first thing I'm going to show you is the online whiteboard. And so here you can see that I have set up a lesson for a student. And so if I was teaching them about the distributive property, I could come on here and I could write on the board about the distributive property, and I can switch colors. So here I've already shown, okay, we're hopping and we're going to multiply 3 by x and 3 by 4. And then I've written it out down here. And then I can go ahead and write the answer, 3x plus 12. And the cool thing about this is that I have my markers and things to write with on my side, and then my student has markers and things to write with on their side. So they also are interacting with this, and they can come in here and I can write practice problems and they can complete them while we're both writing on the board at once, which is really cool. One of my favorite ways to deliver little lessons that we need to learn maybe before the child does something in class, so they have some background in it before they go in. The next thing I want to show you is another way that I deliver lessons, and that is by using class materials or materials that I have created for practice and for lessons. So here, I'm going to show you, I have a geometry sheet that I created in Google Docs. And if we were coming in here, maybe this would be a review. And so I would let the student pick, which one they would like to find the area of first or perimeter, whatever we're doing. And they can come in here, and again, they have markers on their side that they can write directly on this screen. And so they might circle and say, okay, well, I want to do this triangle. And so then I would say, okay, well, write the equation for the area of a triangle. And so then they would come in, they could always switch to a different color and say, okay, I know area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And then they could start working it out. And again, I can be writing while they're writing, which is very cool. Another thing that they can do is they can control the screen. So the next thing I'm going to show you is our virtual manipulatives, both for math and for reading. So first up is math. And so we can use any of the manipulatives pretty much they use in class on the computer. And I can give them control of the screen so they can be moving them around and using them to learn and really internalize how numbers are working, all on the computer, which is so, so cool. So here, these are usually something that is used quite often in elementary classrooms, base 10 blocks. And so if we were studying place value, we could use these. So if I said, okay, I want you to build me the number 321, they could come here and they would be dragging the place value blocks. So they could say, okay, well, I know that this is 100, so I need 3 of them. And I need 20, so that's 2 10 blocks, and 1 unit, which is the 1 block. So we can use these manipulatives to help us learn different math concepts, and they're very cool. There's a lot of other ones. Let me pull up. There are these bears that you can use to count with younger children. Just so many. They have geo boards, all kinds of stuff. Another manipulative that I use a lot with my students is these letter tiles. And so I teach reading with a reading program called Wilson. And in Wilson, you build words and you read words with tiles. So here, I could pull tiles down and say, okay, why don't we read this word? And then I would point to the tiles and we would tap them out. It, and then blend them together. Sit. I can also tell a student to spell something. So I can say, okay, why don't you spell me mat? And so they're going to tell me the sounds that are in mat. T. And then they're going to pick out the tiles that make those sounds. So they're going to go say, that's an M, okay. That's an A. T, that's a T. And then we can check it. At, mat. And this even has a little drawing tool that you can use to mark on here, which is great. And kids love it. It really brings in a multi-sensory approach to math and reading that is really needed in those younger grades. And so I'm thrilled that we can do that on the computer, and we're not really sacrificing much in what we can do. We're not sacrificing anything at all because it's all available here because technology is so advanced. The last thing I want to show you is that if we're reading together, we can be pulling the passages up on the computer to read together and work through. And the drawing tool has a highlighter that you can use. So I can have my students highlight in different colors. So we might be talking about that bats are mammals, so we might highlight this portion right here. Or if we're trying to find evidence for our answers that we do below, we can come back up and highlight those in the passage. Right in the margins, anything that you would do in reading instruction in person can be done online with these awesome tools. So that is a very brief overview of what we can do in online tutoring to give you a little bit of an idea of how we do it. If you have any questions about online tutoring, I am more than happy to answer those at zmhoffman14@gmail.com. That's also in my contact form if that's easier for you to sign or fill out and send off to me. And then if you like what you saw and you think you might want to try out online tutoring, you can go below and schedule a free 30-minute trial session with me at a time that works for you. And I love doing those. You never pay for them, and it's a good way for us to get to know each other and to actually do some schoolwork on the computer so that you can see whether online tutoring is right for your family or not. Thanks for joining me. I hope you liked your sneak peek, and I will see you soon.